Hello, everybody. I am Big Tuna, and I am here to play one of my favorite games ever with you guys. Sid Meier's Civilization 5 is on the menu for everybody today. It is one of my favorite games. I have been playing it for years. I didn't get good until, I would say, maybe about 2 years ago. I don't know. I played a lot of Civ5, but I've been playing it pretty much since it came out, but I really didn't challenge myself until about a year or two ago to play on some of the higher difficulty levels. I just played a lot of like level 3, level 4, maybe like venturing into level 5 games. And, you know, I think there is something to be said for just getting on your feet. I think there's a lot of macro stuff to manage when playing Civ. Some of my friends who play a lot of other games but don't really play a lot of Civilization do say that, you know, it's a tough game because there's just a lot to weigh. You know, the other games don't have as much like higher level stuff to keep track of, and Civ can be a difficult game in that respect. And I totally agree. So I think playing on lower levels can be good to kind of get your feet under you. I do think it's important to learn to walk before you can run. But, you know, all that being said, you know, it's also definitely fun to play on some of the higher levels. Now, I don't want to mislead you. I want to be perfectly honest with everybody from the get-go. I will not be playing a deity level game. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. I actually have never won a game on deity before. That being said, I actually haven't played that many games on deity. Now, I have won on immortal before, and I've won once. That being said, I think some of the deity games I've played recently that I lost, these may have been victories if I would have started with easier conditions on immortal. Who knows? But anyway, I guess I'll give a brief overview of the difficulty that we're going to play today, which is actually Emperor difficulty, level 6. But before I do that, I guess I'll just give an introduction of, you know, kind of what I have in mind for this campaign, you know, and then I'll get into difficulty levels. Then I will get into, you know, kind of what some of the goals of the game are, and then we will get cracking. I do definitely want to get some gameplay in on this video, so I will try not to take too long. So some of you may have caught my Korea stream. This is actually my second, sorry, it wasn't a stream. It was a lot of recordings. It was a campaign. It was also an Emperor difficulty level, and it was Korea. It was the first one I ever did. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Korea is an excellent empire. It has a lot of bonuses. It's one of the strongest, you know, highly powered civs in the game. Some would even argue it is an overpowered civ. In a lot of multiplayer games, it's banned. There's a lot of mods where you can choose to ban it from the game. And I get that. It's a civ that gives a lot of science. So we did actually walk away with a science victory in that campaign. You know, and it was, I think, yeah, I definitely started to feel a lot of the advantages, especially getting into maybe like the late middle game and late game. Definitely noticed a lot of the science boosts, and that was great. But, you know, and while it was, I do think it made it easier, it also did put a certain amount of pressure on the campaign, because if I couldn't win as Korea, guys, like, who was I going to win as? So, but anyway, so to be completely honest about that campaign, it was great. We won. I think it was on turn like 380 or 379 on standard, so out of 500 turns, walked away with the science victory. We were good, like, getting close to, we were like 17 or 18 points ahead of the rest of the map in science, which was pretty crazy. But I think what that translated to was kind of a, you know, we never got attacked. We played on continents. We were on kind of like a semi-isolated start. We had Germany as a neighbor, and they never attacked us. I think we were strong enough to hold off their attacks. So what it translated into was a game that was really fun for me to play, but it was probably kind of a snoozed fest for a lot of people watching. Just because, like, I think a few things are boring. Continents are kind of boring. You might, if you don't have a particularly aggressive neighbor, you might have, like, if it was Shaka, like, who knows, anything could happen. But if you have a neighbor who, like, just doesn't get off their feet, if they're not doing well, or they just are not, they don't have an aggressive, they didn't roll aggressive stats or something like that, like, you could be in for just a very, like, tradition-y kind of building up sort of game. And that's honestly what it was. There wasn't a ton of action. Frankly, there wasn't a lot of red meat. I think some of the hardcore Civers who watched could hopefully get some cool tips from the game. But I would say I want to venture into something else for everybody. So I'm going to be playing as Elizabeth's England in this campaign. And look, I'm not going to commit to one particular victory type or another. And frankly, I don't know if that's like a great idea for Civ. For some civilizations, it's very dependent. Like, yeah, Korea is a great science Civ. And if you're Shaka, maybe you want to go for domination. Or the Huns are great for domination. But then you get some civs that are just really well-rounded, and they're good for a lot of victory types. And I think Elizabeth is an excellent civ for multiple victory types. So, first of all, yeah, let me just go over England. And is there a way... I might... okay, when we click in, it's weird. You can't, like, view all of the high-level stats from the menu. So I'll go into that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm actually going to go into the game without a particular victory type in mind. So I do want to play on Pangea, and that's because I believe the playing on continents did get a little stale before. I think sometimes you get playing on your own continent, which can help you get off to a good start, but it's not particularly fun or interesting to watch. Pangea, everybody's in it together. You don't know who your neighbors are. We could get anybody, guys. We could get Venice as a neighbor, and it could be super chill. We could get Zulu on one side and the Huns on the other, and it could be a hell of a game. But yeah, I think Pangea is just going to keep it interesting for everyone. Now, to control the chaos a little bit, I am going to only do 6 players with 12 city-states. So it's going to be England and then 5 other random civs. Only because I know 8 is kind of the standard for this kind of stuff. And, with that being said, I really do want to take a whack, if at all possible, at domination. And I'll kind of explain that reasoning why. But the thing is that I'm remaining flexible, so I'm not married to the domination route. But if it seems like it's going to work out, I think it is. I'd say it's a lot easier to give up with 7 other civs you have to conquer on the map than 5 other civs. And I guess in vanilla Civ5, the way that you won domination was to be the last civ in control of your own capital. So the rules were actually a lot easier to win domination in vanilla Civ5. With the mods, though, with Brave New World, which is what we're playing on now, in order to win domination, you have to control every capital on the map. And the difference between controlling 6 capitals at once and 8 capitals at once is pretty big. So I think if I were to play on a map with 8 players, I would say the chances of me giving up on that domination victory and turtling up would be that much higher, because I just would realize I need more domination force. And there are some units that make England specifically very good, and those could start to go obsolete if you add 2 extra civs that you have to conquer. So anyway, but yeah, so I'm just going to keep it to 6 for now. I'll probably play with more civs in future domination campaigns, but we're going to have a 6 for this campaign. We are going to play on Emperor, and yeah, just a brief overview of how the difficulty levels work in Civ is the AI is pretty universally regarded as very stupid. So multiplayer play, which I haven't really done it at all. I did when I first started playing, and then went to I wasn't good enough, and then went to play the AI. These days, I don't know. I just haven't really played much online. So I played mostly against the AI, and the AI is known as being kind of dumb. They're generally stupid. They tend to make bad decisions. They'll settle in really, really weird places, we'll probably see that in the game. But the thing is something about Civ5 is that the AI is the exact same 1 through 8. I'm not saying exact same in terms of, I do think there are certain actions they'll take on higher levels. They're more likely to attack you. They'll probably be more angry if you slight them in certain ways. They'll be less forgiving, maybe less likely to make declarations of friendship. I haven't looked into the code or looked at that specifically, but I think just generally in terms of how smart they are, you can think of their intelligence level as being the same level 1 to level 8. The only difference is the bonus of the ratio of bonuses that the player gets versus the AI. So when you play settler, like just level 1, like just for learning the game, you get basically the AI gets 0 bonuses, which the AI, being as dumb as they are with no bonuses, are like pretty horrible. And then you as the player get a ton of bonuses. So like I'm pretty sure, for instance, you can't go unhappy when you're playing level 1. Like you can just, it's actually funny. I played a game on level 1 just to like test the limits, and I was able to like play a Liberty, like a wide game, but just with, or I'm sorry, no, I played Liberty, but I was able to just plant infinite cities and like never had to worry about unhappiness. Like you can't go unhappy. You continuously gain culture and everything. Like you just get so many boosts for everything. It's ridiculous. And then yeah, like 2, it's like you get slightly less bonuses compared to the AI. 3, you still get bonuses, but like slight bonuses. 4, it's even. Like you don't get any bonuses versus the AI, which again, the AI is kind of dumb. So if you're good at Civ, like you're probably gonna be able to beat them on this level. 5, they start getting like slight bonuses. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but I would say it's 6, like, which is the campaign we're going to play. That's what I think of as like a standard Civ game. Like Civ, like if you consider Civ to be a hard game, like it should be, I consider it to be a hard game to play versus the AI. And so I think like a normal Civ game should be pretty hard. And so like the AI should get significant advantages against you. So why don't I venture into Immortal or Deity? Guys, I will eventually, trust me. I'm still figuring out my strategy a bit, but Immortal, they get even more advantages against you. Again, I'm not exactly sure what they are, but I'm pretty sure it's like they start off with several tech boosts and like maybe an extra worker or something like that. And then by the time you get to Deity, they literally get an extra settler and several other units to boot. So like they just get 2 cities from the get-go, which is insane. I mean, that's an insane bonus. So yeah, again, but they're still the same old dumb AI. They're just maybe a little bit more pissed. Like they're more likely to invade you and attack you. And they also have like huge boosts to their, so they have an extra freaking city. So you have to be really good at the game to be able to like outwit them and beat them. But anyway, I want a game that's going to be engaging, but that we can still feel like, we can march in and try to like conquer and attack other civs. So I am going to play on the Emperor difficulty today. And yeah, I know I've already talked a lot, so we are going to play standard game pace, I think. I think that's good for our needs. Quick tends to go by a little bit too fast. I find I can't even get really... It's good to like experiment with playstyles, but I'll find like I'll be building momentum and getting into a game, and then suddenly like World Congress pops up or like something else pops up, and then I'm like suddenly like the game is winding down in certain ways, and I'm a little sad. I think standard is perfect. Epic, you're just spending a lot of time like watching stuff build. So I am going to, so yeah, here's the advanced setup. We're gonna do a legendary start. And quick combat, quick movement for now. If we do anything like epic, I might change these. Like if we're doing a crazy attack, I might like turn these off for a couple turns just for like cinematic purposes. But yeah, we're going to have 12 city states. We're going to play against 5 other random civs. These could be anybody. These could be Carthage. They could be Japan. They could be the Zulus. Yeah, the Huns, the Germans. Who knows? Could even be Korea. So we will see. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and get this game started. Howdy, folks. I am back, and I just wanted to say there was a little blip there. There were 2 things. First of all, I left the speech on, so the guy was like, "Oh, praises upon thee, Serene Highness Elizabeth," which I don't think you guys want to be subjected to that. You get it. Like, they pay a lot of respect to the civs, which is great. Anyway... but also it was just a very ugly viewing experience. I remember I was testing something out and I turned all of the specs, I turned all of the graphics to the lowest setting, which I don't think would be a good cinematic experience for you guys. So I have turned those up a little bit. Anyway, now we can talk about the Civ a little bit. So we have, one of the great things about England is basically all their bonuses are incredibly useful and somewhat synergistic, and like make them a very flexible and useful empire to do a lot of things. A lot of people will put them as tier 1, like a top tier civ. Some people may not put them that high, but there's nobody out there who thinks they're bad, and most people think they're like one of the top, one of the better civs in the game, if not like top tier. So yeah, I'll go through their bonuses one by one. So they have the Sun Never Sets bonus, which is a +2 movement for all naval units, which is just insane. I mean, that's the thing is it stacks with all the other bonuses you can get throughout the game. So there's a lot of policies you can do. You can look into exploration policies that I forget the exact name of the policy that gives it, but I think there's something that will give +1 additional sight to +1 movement and +1 sight to every naval unit. You can also stack that with the Great Lighthouse if you get it. So the point is, like, once you're getting like frigates and units like that have a lot of range already, like they're gonna have even more range. It's great for like exploration. Now we are in a Pangea, but so like it's not quite as good as like an archipelago or fractal map or continents. That's true, but I did that on purpose, guys, because I wanted the game to be a little bit more challenging. And look, as you can tell, it looks like we have a coastal start. I mean, we're still going to be on the water. Water still plays an effect in the game, even on a Pangea. We can still attack cities coastally. There's nothing that prevents that. And yeah, so beyond that, like, frigates are great units, but we get the Ship of the Line, which has 5 moves. Forgive me. Actually, something useful to have looked up would have been, and I'll look that up for later and maybe talk about it in the next video. I don't know what that is compared to a normal frigate. A normal frigate might also get 5 moves. But point is, like, you can stack. So you get 5 moves plus an additional 2 movement. So I think it might have 7 moves. I could be wrong. Maybe it just gets 5 moves because of the +2. We're going to find that out together. I'm guessing it's... I don't know. We'll see, folks. we'll check it out. Either way, it's a lot of movement, and there's opportunity for stacking more movement on top. And yeah, it has crazy strength. It has strength of 30, melee strength of 30. So whoever attacks it, it has 30 strength, which makes it a very strong kind of tanky unit. And it has a range strength of 35, which is, I think artillery is like 28. So yeah, Ship of the Line is the idea is to like get several of these together. So we're definitely going to want to secure an iron source. But they definitely, because we're coastal, like that will help defend us, and we can also launch some pretty crazy attacks. Hopefully, we'll see if there are any other coastal civs. So yeah, that makes them a great naval civ. So we'll see how useful that is for us. We're also going to receive 1 extra spy, and I think that's when anybody makes it to the Renaissance era, something like that. There's a time globally where everybody receives a spy. We're going to get an extra one, which is insanely useful. That means we can guard our own city if we're doing well in science, guard our own capital so we're not getting tech stolen from us as quickly. And then we can use the other one however we want. So while everybody else has to be like really resourceful with how they're using their spy, we get a whole extra one that we can like plant in a city-state to try to take it over or at least gain influence. Put it in, let's say like Korea's in the game. We're going to want a spy in their capital to be leeching as much science off of them as possible. It's just going to help us in every possible way. So yeah, the 1 extra spy to use however we want throughout the game leaves us so much more flexible. We also get this unit here, the Longbowman, which is an absolute banger of a unit. It's a medieval ranged infantry unit. And I think because we're playing on a Pangea, this is going to be a much more useful unit to us than the Ship of the Line, though we will see. But the idea is to carry out a domination victory by absolutely spamming these guys. And yeah, we're going to want to get as many longbowmen as we can out in the field. And look at this. So they have 18 ranged strength, which again, I think they replaced the crossbow. And I'm trying to think how much range strength the crossbowman has. But 18 is pretty crazy. But what makes it crazier is they have an additional range. So they can shoot up to 3 tiles away. Making them absolute monsters for defense. But if you can spam a bunch of them, if you can get a group of maybe like 8 of them together and then attack cities, like you can hit units that can't hit you. And that's like, it's incredibly beneficial. So anyway, I think the idea is we're going to try to go for a domination victory. We're going to try to spam these longbowmen and get the most use out of them as we can. And if we cannot conquer, maybe we take over one neighbor but can't go much further, then we'll probably like take the cities we have and then like turtle up, and we'll go from there. So we're going to remain flexible. But luckily, Britain helps you remain flexible with that spy, that extra spy, and having a very strong navy. And the longbowmen can act defensively for a long time. They can also be upgraded. If we upgrade all of our longbowmen to Gatling guns, they're going to have one extra range as well, which is, again, just a very insane unit to have. Nobody else on the map is going to have a unit quite that strong. So anyway, that's we're not going to have quite this much talking every episode up top. We're going to get into some gameplay. So yeah, let's go ahead and begin our journey. We'll take a look around. We're going to get the city planted, and then I'll talk through maybe like some of the strategy that I would like to partake in for the early game. So let us go ahead and take a look around. So this is an interesting start. I'm seeing definitely a lot of food. We are on a forest grassland tile. We have access to sheep. We have 2 cattle right next door. So we have great, really great food. We also have stone. We have, of course, this was a legendary start, so you can see how much copper we have around. That's a great resource to work because it gets us, obviously, a lot of gold, but also production as we build mines. We're going to be able to get food off of the cattle. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, without even looking around, we have a lot of excellent tiles. We don't have any ocean tiles to work, but that's almost good that we can focus on, because we are playing on Pangea, we can focus on building up like land forces at first. When you have to build fishing boats to get like fish or pearls or something like that, that can be annoying because then you have to get triremes to defend it. And yeah, we're able to focus on building up on the land at first for now. So taking a look around, I'm trying to question if there's somewhere else I want to move. And I can get a lot of extra production. I can get 1 extra production a turn by moving over to settle on the lamb. But that is going to move me away from a lot of great stuff. That moves me away from the sugar. I think there's just too many good resources nearby. The game will generally spawn you, and not to say that the game will always spawn you in the optimal spot to settle, but the game will spawn you in an acceptable place to settle. And if you move too far, especially in a legendary start, you may be moving far away from certain strategic and luxury resources that were put there on purpose. So I tend to like to settle in place if I'm like somewhat satisfied, and I am somewhat satisfied. I also like the fact that I am exposed. I'm exposed to the coast, but only by 1 tile, which means, we're a coastal civ, but we are not particularly vulnerable from the sea, even though we are England. So if anybody's attacking us by sea, we kind of screwed up. But I think it's a good place to be where we get all the benefits of kind of a coastal city. But we are not particularly vulnerable. We only have 1 tile to be attacked. It's not as if we settled on the sheep, we would suddenly, I think, have 4 naval tiles that people could use to attack us. I will say there are mountains over here, and so if we were to move up here, it's something interesting to consider. If we were to move up here, we would be moving towards the copper. We'd be moving away from the sugar, but we'd be moving towards the mountains, and we'd leave ourselves in a situation to build things like Neuschwanstein later. I think we'd have to move too far to get next to the mountain and build things like observatories later. I don't know. I think I'm feeling pretty happy with this city where it is. I'm going to go ahead and settle in place. Boom. And I will say, before I really get into it, the goal is to play. So this is a 500 turn campaign. It's probably not going to go to 500 turns. Like, somebody will probably get a victory condition before that. Hopefully us. But yeah, I think the goal is generally to keep the videos short and digestible. The shorter I make them, the easier they are to get out. This could easily be a video in its own right. I don't know how far we are in, maybe like 20 minutes, but yeah, I am going to play. So the goal for every video is about 25 turns. So yeah, I'll probably stop this at turn 25. We'll see how things go, but that is the goal as of right now. Yeah, it keeps it short and digestible and makes, the shorter they are, the easier they are to like process and get uploaded. So anyway, so yeah, I'm very curious to look at the mountains, but I am going to take my warrior south onto this hill to get a good look around. It's always good to end turns on hills when you're scouting. Oh, wow. We have runes. We have sugar. We have copper. So we have access to a good amount of luxury resources from the start. It would be great to see a third luxury resource, but we can do that by exploring. So I'm the kind of guy, especially playing on a map like this, because we know we are on a Pangea and we're going to have 5 neighbors who want to deal with us. I do want to start production on a scout. And in fact, I want to get 2 scouts out before we do anything else. And I am going to food focus for now. Now, luckily, we have a lot of food around the capital, but I'm going to focus on growing. We do have more food than production, but I think that's good. We have production tiles in our second ring. Yeah, so I think just getting our population larger for now is going to help us. And I think once I get to pop 3, I'll start producing, I'll see if there are any settle spots and probably start producing settlers from there. And I am going to go for pottery. I think we do have great tiles for a granary. I'm sorry, no, we don't. We don't have any deer. But the +2 food in the capital is good. We'll get the granary at some point, but we also want the shrine. We want a religion in this game. Religions are really good to get, and I don't think there are going to be as many because there are only 6 civs on the map. So we do want to get a shrine as early as possible. So I think for now, unless something drastic happens, my goal is to get 2 scouts and a shrine out. Animal husbandry, that is excellent. It's great. That's one of my favorite rune types to get, is to just pick up a completely new tech. This is great because now we can see where the horses are. And I'm seeing 4 horses over here. This is excellent. So I want to get pottery first. The fact that we picked up animal husbandry is great because we would not have researched that anyway, which means I can feel even better about going the track that I wanted to go. And I guess I'll discuss it now. So here's what I wanted to do. I want to pick up. So there are 2 early game wonders that I think are really, really useful for England. Now, I wouldn't have wanted to unlock the technologies for them quite yet. I think actually finding animal husbandry is better because I do want to get settlers out. But I think there are 2 wonders that I think would be great for England. And I'm almost thinking I want to lock down the 2 wonders and then not focus on wonders possibly for the rest of the game and just focus on building up a military. So one of the wonders is Temple of Artemis. That's +1 great engineer points, and it's +10% growth in all cities, which is good, but also +15% production when building ranged units. And that's absolutely something we're going to want because we want to put out a ton of longbowmen. We're going to want to spam them. I may very well go for that next. Okay. I have a couple of decisions I want to make. So I do want to go for pottery, and I want to pick up that shrine. Then after that, I'm probably going to want to produce settlers. And but I think I might go for... Here's the thing. I think the AI tends not to pick up Temple of Artemis right away. I'm trying to decide whether I should go for that first or go for that second. Part of me wants to go for it first because it's the earlier technologies. And now I get it. Rushing 2 wonders is a pretty insane way to start the game. But if we get either one, I think it sets us off on a really, really good path. Yes, and I know they're pretty early on. But I don't want it to prevent us from settling. So, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pursue pottery. And then mining tends to be a really good technology to get after that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lock down pottery for now. Then I think I'm gonna go into mining. Then I think I'm gonna go into archery and then bronze working. And then yeah, those are the 2 technologies we need. And then we'll see how the timing is with Temple of Artemis by then. And then for my build order, I think what I want to do is I want to get out 2 scouts and then a shrine. And then I want to get out, I think from there I want to probably steal a worker and then get out a few settlers. But yeah, we need to figure out what the landscape looks like. So for that, let's get some scouts out. I don't want to plan like way too far ahead, but that's kind of my grand strategy. And yeah, we'll kind of see how that pans out. I definitely should have ended on a hill. I wasn't really thinking there. It's good to see what these lands look like here, but yeah, now I was kind of thinking of this land as smooth terrain that I could have like walked into and then walked up to the hill. Anyway, I'm just going to let that go. I am going to want to figure out what's going on over here because this looks like a solid expand. I mean, the 4 horses and the sugar look pretty great. My rule tends to be for an expand that I want at least one luxury resource, one unique luxury resource per city. Now I'm noticing tundra down here, which tends to move towards, like, when you walk down towards the tundra, you tend to hit a pole, P-O-L-E, meaning you hit like ice and stuff like that. So it could be that the rest of the world is like up here, and I don't know. I'd rather explore over here towards where I think other players are. Oh, Grand Mesa. Grand Mesa is +2 production and +3 gold. Oh, man, look at all that. That's near the mountains. That is near the hill. So this will be great to explore. But yeah, we're gonna want to keep working on the scout. Great. So we are pop 2, humming along. We have a lot of growth. Yeah, turning to pop 2 on turn 5 is pretty excellent. It's great to be able to leverage that extra food. Okay. If I move up onto this hill, I'll be able to see what's on the other side. The thing is, I'll be blocked and won't be able to go over Grand Mesa, so I'm going to go. Okay, so there's a mountain range. Okay, guys, good news. We're protected by, like, a mountain range, including Grand Mesa. Now, it's going to be hard to figure out what's on the other side of that. So I'm glad to get this scout in next turn. Maybe we can get up and over that mountain range just to see what's on the other side. Yeah, and that's in fact where I am going to send the scout. Going to put him on the hill. Man, another luxury resource, marble up here. Okay, I'm gonna send this warrior south just to explore down around the forest. So this is a peculiar start. Now here's the thing. I could take this opportunity. We have 3 turns left until pottery. I could take this opportunity to sink some turns into a worker. And, oh man, 18 turns. No, we're going to want the scout. We're going to want the scout to look around. Workers also make the empire go around. Hopefully we will find a city-state that we can steal a worker from. So yeah, let's figure out what's going on up here, because this looks like a very good second city, possibly. Okay. I don't hate that. We have some fish. We have some horses. We're protected by the mountains. I do see a city-state over here. We definitely want to go ahead and meet them. I'm going to move this warrior south. Another city-state. Okay. All right. I think I'm starting to get an idea of what England's lands might look like. So good news is that, like, we are protected. I don't know how that's going to make it probably harder for us to, like, rush other civs. Yeah, this is why you send scouts around. You want to get a look around the rest of the land. 30 gold, Riga. They are maritime. Interesting. 30 gold means they have not met any other civs yet. They give the first civ they meet 30 gold. So there aren't. If they had been 15, I would think maybe they'd be a civ like down here or something. But that does not seem to be the case. Yeah, let's go ahead and meet this other city-state. Milan, another 30 gold. I'm guessing there's a civ like parked right over here on the other side of the mountains. But yeah, we have a nice. I mean, guys, it's pretty hard for us to be attacked like this. which is interesting. This makes it really tempting just to like plant and turtle up. I would want a slightly more exciting game than that. I could keep going this way. I'm actually going to go this way. I want to see, like, I think more players are likely to be over there. Interesting. We haven't met anybody else yet. I absolutely support getting another scout out, though. Okay, so we finished pottery, so I am actually going to work on a shrine when we get that next scout out. The fact that the land so far, knock on wood, doesn't appear to be super contested makes me feel better about, you know, pushing the settlers off a bit, but I don't want to push them off so far that I have, you know, like, I don't want to build the whole wonder before I get the settlers out. So I think I'm still going to go shrine into settlers. The question is, what technology should I get next? And I think the answer to that is mining. That's just a really, really solid tech to pick up. We are going to want to get bronze working to figure out where iron is, because that's to get Statue of Zeus. And also, you know, it's a very important... it's important to know where iron is for the Brits, because we need them for... it's just a good resource to have in general, but we particularly want it for our ship of the line. They require iron. We don't have any iron. That will make us sad. But yeah, we're going to go for mining. Okay, I'm going to just continue to explore. We're bound to meet somebody sooner rather than later, I'm sure. But yeah, we have a huge coastal, like, mountain range protecting us. Okay, now that we're pop 3, I'm happy to go into like production mode. And is this the highest? I'm curious why. Why is it going... If I'm doing production mode, I'm curious why it's going to all of the food. I mean, oh, maybe it's because it knows there's one turn left. And it just... I do think it makes sense to... Actually, this seems to be the best combination for the next turn. We can net a little bit of extra gold. Alright, I'll do that for one more turn for the next turn. Sheep. This is crazy. So yeah, we have some solid expands. Like this hill right here could be an expand where we could still... I mean, there's not a lot of food. In fact, there's barely any food there. There's no food. I mean, we'd rely on the bison in the second ring. The thing is, we get Grand Mesa, but like the second ring would be pretty bad. It would have a lot of production. Sort of. I don't know. There's still a lot to consider. Sheep. So we're like fairly isolated on this Pangea start. I mean, we have this gargantuan mountain range. Like, the funny thing is, if we were anybody but Britain, or like maybe the Koreans, they have the turtle ship. Like, I would be worried about being invaded, but like, we're a naval civ. We're going to have some pretty banging naval units that are going to protect us. So like, the only way we can really be invaded, it seems like, if we settle well, as long as no other civs get on this side of the mountain range and settle, like, the only way we can get attacked is coastally. I guess we still have to explore. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm going to send the scout southeast, the new one. Okay, we got some more copper. I do think I'm going to bring my warrior back towards the capital. Gold. So here's a question. Like, do I really want one of my cities separated from my capital across a mountain range? Does that really make sense? Like, I'm not going to be able to get a road. They're not going to be able to form a city connection with the capital. So that's kind of rough. Like, the mountains are a blessing and a curse. The curse is like that looks like a great settle spot right there. We got the lake. We got sheep. But like, I don't know if I would want a city cut off from the capital like that. It's not great. Yeah, let's get a shrine. We're going to want religion. I think there is something that gives us faith for copper, which is something we're definitely going to want to pick up. Or like, I don't know. We're going to have to think on it. But yeah, getting the shrine is good infrastructure. It's good long-term infrastructure for the Empire. Yeah, I don't want to send my... I'm going to just send my warrior back. I think... I haven't seen any barbs either, but it's a good idea to keep your warrior kind of around your capital. He's pretty far right now. I'm going to... Look, so there's wine, but I don't know. If we discover another civ, like, right there, those are lands they're going to want. If we didn't have a friggin' mountain range, I would go settle this. So this is, like, it's going to require a lot of thought. These are weird. We're on a Pangea. I don't know if we have, like, friggin' Venice next to us. Oh, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Greetings, traveler. I am Casimir of Poland. Come, let us feast and share the stories of our people. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't even think that was a Polish accent. I don't know what that was. This is bad news, guys. This is not good news. This is like, if England is like a tier 1 civ, Poland is like a tier 0. They are fierce. I would have been very comfortable not having Poland as one of the other 5 civs on the map. Okay, well, I think that kind of answers our question. Like, that land over there seems to be, like, Poland land. I mean, we're going to have to see where their capital is. So here's what I'm thinking. I knew it was too good to be true to just be, like, walking around and not discovering another civ till turn 15. So here's the good news is, like, defensively, we seem pretty safe. Again, like, we're a naval civ. We can protect ourselves, like, navally if somebody attacks us. You know, if we play our cards right. Oh, we get ruins. I'm going to pick up those ruins in a sec. I'll go ahead and get them now. Okay. It's nice to get the scout into the archer. So here's the thing that I was thinking about. If we do want to rush, so this kind of destroys our longbowman, like, desires, a little bit, and it sucks. Because, yeah, like, look at this. I mean, look how solid this mountain range is. It's a bit ridiculous. We have... It's funny. It's almost laughable. We have, like, 1 tile of clearance to march an army from our part of the island, our part of the continent, like, over to the next part of the continent. And that's pretty goofy. That's really, really goofy. Sorry if you can hear that siren in the background. I live in the city. So then it, like, raises the question, like, do I maybe want to form a city here that I just, like, look how much production is there. Like, that's insane. That's an insane settle. If we settle, like, on the gold and we, like, it'll be cut off from the capital, but it can, like, we can just use it to, like, pump out units and just, like, invade, you know. We're going to have to look around a little bit more. It raises some questions for sure. This is why you get scouts. Okay, so Poland's right there. Here's the thing, guys. This is going to be Poland's lands. Like, they probably consider this to be their land. I don't know. They might have another neighbor over here. This is exactly why you get scouts. It helps you figure out what the heck is going on the continent around you. Okay, this warrior, I'm going to double back this warrior just to get a look at, like, this land right here. It's going to be expensive, but we're not producing units for a couple more turns, so. Whew. All right. Decisions. We did pick up mining, which is great. We're not going to have a worker. Like, we need to steal a worker from a city-state. Archery is going to allow us to get Temple of Artemis, but I have so many questions about the map that I want answered. I'm going to go for bronze working. That's going to give us the tech we need for Statue of Zeus. And that's also going to tell us where the iron is on the map, which is huge for England, and we want the iron. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, is Warsaw inland? Are they on the coast? You know, these are all very important tidbits and something we're going to have to keep exploring. Okay, so this archer, I do want to send this archer to explore the rest of the map in a bit. Oh man, don't block us in. Uh-oh, actually, I'm realizing the danger in what I'm doing right now. Like, let's say there is a mountain range. Okay, I'm going to want this explorer to double back. I don't know. Do I? Here's a problem I've run into before is like, I've had a scout that like goes and looks around, and then like let's say this like, luckily there's not a good unit tile here, but there is wine here. Let's say like it grows here and then gets the wine. My my scout is stuck on that side of the map if it doesn't have a way to like walk through these mountains, which sucks. Like that costs us a unit. I'm going to play it extra safe, and on the next turn, I'm going to double him back and go and like look over here. It's boring. I definitely want to learn about this part of the map. Ooh. But if I get blocked in and like, let's say like it's all mountains here, I'm effectively just going to lose that unit, and that stinks. I don't want to have that happen to our empire. Yeah. See, like it's so tempting to just keep walking this way. I gotta play it safe. I know how boring it is. I know how... Oh, man. 10 turns. You know what? Oh, not him. Let's see how long it takes this lovely scout. You know what, guys? We're gonna walk on the wild side. Maybe I'll hedge my bets and I'll walk inland. There we go. I did it. So he could still get trapped there, but I have to learn more about this map. I'm so freaking curious. Like, it's really going to inform our strategy moving forward. I may not go for the wonders. Guys, the longbowman rush thing is looking pretty tanked, to be honest. Yeah, I have to be honest about that. Like, maybe... Like, we have to look and see how many of these other civs are on the coast, because that's going to inform our strategy big time. Okay. I mean, this seems pretty standard. This is a good spot to settle. The thing is, like, I don't know how much I would... Oh. Hold up. Here's the thing. Maybe our longbowman strategy is not tanked if we settle a city here. It doesn't gain us a unique luxury resource, but it does give us a strategical like choke point. Like, we'll have a city that any other civ will have to go through to get to London. And then if we have a city here, we have that same kind of control. And then maybe our third expand is just like right here. We pick up Grand Mesa, and we also get that sugar and the extra horses and the bison. And then we can use these two cities to produce longbowmen, and they can kind of like meet wherever they need to go. Then we don't have to like march them all around from London, which could be goofy. I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts flying around. This is how early games always are. You have to like think through. This is also why you can't charge into Civ with a particular strategy in mind. You have to be flexible. All right, I'm just gonna explore. All right, this explorer. Oh, we got +1 pop in the capital. That is fresh. That is amazing. I'm very, very happy about that. Worker, work. Oh no, I was just wasting a lot of production, wasn't I? Oh my god, I feel so stupid. All right, well at least we have that extra. We have that extra worker in the capital now, or that extra citizen. Okay, well, if we're going to think of settling this tile, this would be good for a granary. We have to settle it before Poland does, but we'll leave them their own lands up here. Like, they'll have plenty of stuff to settle. We're just going to have, like, kind of well-defended, well-fortified cities with strategic choke points here and here that we could use to, again, like, produce longbowmen. The thing is, like, there's so many freaking mountains in this game. It's almost like begging you to turtle up and just focus on science, and that's it. In which case, we'd want to focus on growth, and, like, this might be a good experiment. I don't know. Maybe not. Nah. Okay, I'm going to take a look. Oh, there's wheat. That helps with growth. So putting a granary in this city, you want granaries in all your cities, but, yeah, a granary in this city is going to pick up extra food from the deer and the wheat, yeah, it's going to be a great. I think this is a good settle actually. And it's on the river and you get fish and you get sheep. This is a great settle. Do we get greedy? I think we should definitely make it coastal. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the problem is if we make it coastal, I would have to settle off the river to get the gold. That might be just a little bit too greedy. So we're definitely settling around here, though. And that might even be it would be very far from the capital, but it might, I don't know. We'll see. If Poland grabbed it, that would suck. But yeah, we're going to have to keep looking around the map. It is nice that we have kind of a military unit here, but I want him to yeah, Poland has us kind of trapped in. I'm actually, if I go around, yeah, I am actually going to have this guy go up and around and visit Milan and take a worker, steal a worker from them if they have one ready. Oh, baby, we just got a second technology. So we picked up, what did we pick up? Animal husbandry, and now we picked up masonry. Oh man, that is excellent. So 2 technologies, and we got an extra pop in our capital. Okay, I think we are at the part of the game now where, so some of you really want me to go for a monument, but we're at turn 19. I think we just need to go for a settler. And yeah, we need to start, get our cities going. We need to get our empire going. I have in the past, I've like put settlers off way too long, and I don't want to do that. We may not get all 3 of them squeezed out before we start work on a wonder, but yeah, I think you want to get your expands out fast. You can help claim land. You can help, you can help get your cities going faster. It's just, the faster you get a city planted, the faster you can get it like working on all the stuff it needs. And the quicker your civ is going to get built up. So I think that's very important. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. You cannot starve while you're building a worker. I'm sorry, a settler. Workers, settlers, and scouts, I always get the 3 of them. I don't get them conceptually mixed up, but I get them mixed up like, I'll mean one and the other one will come out of my mouth. I don't know why. Let's see. So, like, how many turns are we looking at right now? 12. Can I get that down and also, like, make a little money? That's something I'm curious about. $12, and we're making a +2 gold. Let's look at that again. So it's still 12 turns, but we're making the extra +2 gold. Yeah, that's not going to apply. So the reason there's all this screwiness is because, like, I think you get +1 production for every +2 extra growth. Okay, so the city's stagnated because it's building a settler, and it's always stagnated when it's building a settler. Anyway, I think the thing is we kept it at 12 turns, but now we're getting extra 2 gold. Anyway, let us continue. Okay, I am gonna bring this guy back to the capital. We're gonna have a settler in 12 turns. I want somebody to be able to escort the fine lad to a settle spot. Okay, let's just keep looking inland. I think it's been valuable just getting the lay of the land. And man, what a crazy map. Look at all those mountains. This is insane. I'm thinking I rule out the longbow just because, like, which sucks for England. But I'm thinking I rule out the longbow because, like, longbow kind of, like, flat terrain is its best friend. Like, the thing that makes it an awesome unit is that it has 3 range, but it doesn't have 3 range, like, in the mountains. It just has 3 range, like, in, open terrain. So if we're going to have all these hills and all these mountains and everything all over the map, it's going to make it a nightmare. We're going to be, like, cramming all of our longbowmen through, like, tight corridors, and they're not going to be able to get great shots off, and they're just going to get, like, picked off by whatever units are waiting in the cities. I don't know. We'll have to see. If it like, flattens out here, maybe we can reconsider. We also have Poland. Like, that's going to be a nasty enemy to fight on the battlefield. The thing is, like, Warsaw may not, I mean, it looks pretty flat over here. Warsaw may not be hard to take. So there's still a lot up in the air to consider. Yeah, let's keep this guy moving, see if we can steal something from Milan. I'm going to see if this warrior can steal a worker from Riga. Meanwhile, we're going to keep on keeping on. We got shot. Oh man, don't shoot me, dude. Truffles. Okay, things flatten out a bit here, but this is jungle, which is also not great for longbowmen. So I'm not seeing much of the map that's opportune to get a bunch of longbowmen out. I've actually had I remember I played as Poland once and had a fierce gridlock with England because they had all the longbowmen. That was a crazy game. Let's just see. I'm sorry to go into your... Well, maybe I can actually step over here. Doesn't seem like Riga has a worker yet. Oh, let's meet the city-state. Plus 15 gold. Okay, so unless Poland went up and met them, there's another civ in the area. And, okay. So we picked up bronze working. Great. So that means we get a look at the iron. Ooh, 6 iron, baby. 6 iron. The plot thickens. I mean, I'm looking at like 4. Well, yeah, I'm looking at 4 very, very solid expands, meaning like 5 cities total. One of them goes up here. This one's like, okay. It has a lot of production. I might plant it like 1, 2, 3. I'd have to plant it. I couldn't plant it. If I wanted it to be coastal, it would have to be like one of these 2 tiles or the sheep. But I think I'd want it to be closer to, I don't know. It'd be okay. This would be an okay city. It would be more like the strategic defensive location of the city rather than the, like, necessarily the resources I'm getting from it. I could get the luxury here. I could pick up 2 horses, get some fish, and just have a nice, like, another nice coastal city. I'd probably plant it on the marble, to be honest. This city down here, this is great. I mean, this is like excellent growth and production. Down here, I don't think I could get quite close enough to pick up the gold, but it's still a good settle. This would net me Grand Mesa, and I would get some bison and some sugar. It'd be okay. It'd be good production. It would struggle for growth, and we'd probably have to send like internal trade routes. And then this would get us 6 iron, which we're gonna like 6 ship of the line would be great to just send around the map. I'm noticing something kind of gross. Oh man. Oh no. I don't like that. That's a bad sign, ladies and gentlemen. This is ice. Oh no. Oh no. This means that any cities we have here cannot sail through here. Which means, like, let's say Warsaw has a city here. I think that's all the more reason to like plant a city here. Because then we can build naval units from that city and like send it to attack Warsaw. But we don't even know if they're coastal. Okay. Anyway, moving forward, I know there's a lot at play here. Not every video is going to be this crazy. It's just like early game, especially like the first maybe 100 turns can be like, maybe the first like 50 to 75 can be really crazy. And just like, as you can tell, there's a lot about the map we're discovering, and it's really going to shape the kind of game we're going to play. I do think we're going to pick up archery. I think that's just, yeah. That feeds into a lot of things we're going to want. It also helps us get Temple of Artemis, which I think we're probably going to want for the longbowman. But anyway, we're going to want archer soon anyway. We didn't pick up any culture, unfortunately. Any free culture, that is. So a Pantheon did just hit the map. They picked up God of the Sea. That's not something we would have wanted. Wait, what is the minimum? 15 faith is minimum required for a religious Pantheon. So we'll see if we get that. Okay, and it is time to... Okay. It is time to unlock a social policy. And here's something that I'm going to go into. I'm going to spend... Oh, man. No, you know what? I'm actually going to... This video has been really long. I'm not going to put this in this video. I am going to roll it over to the next one. So with that being said, we'll start the next video with that explanation. But I'm going to go ahead and say, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been excellent on this first episode of the campaign. I know it was a lot of talking, it was a lot of exposition, so I really appreciate you, being patient, kind of sticking that out, and talking it through. I really, really appreciate that. I think talking this through and kind of being methodical with the decisions we're making is really going to help us play a great, great campaign as England. I wouldn't say we got off to a bad start, or I'd say it's like a very interesting start. There's some amazing bonuses to, the fact that we're very, very well protected and we're a naval civ. For England to start in a place like this really leaves them defensively in a great, great spot. It makes it very tempting to kind of turtle up. That being said, I don't know, it is going to make it a little bit more challenging to do things like spam longbowmen and take over all our neighbors. The map is not looking conducive for that in the least. So that this is how Civ is. We may just be forced into a different kind of campaign from that. But anyway, I think the next, as much as we found out these 25 turns, I think it raised as many questions as it answered. So we are going to have a really interesting next 25 turns in the next video. But yes, I cannot wait to join you guys for that. I am Big Tuna. Again, I thank you for tuning in. And I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. I will see you guys when you join for part 2. Take it easy in the meantime. Bye-bye.